Okay. All right. So we're back again today, guys. Give me a second because my music is currently deafening me. Um, and we're here. So I know you're looking at a blank screen right now. No, my thing didn't crash again. We're just having a moment with each other. So there we go. And you should be looking at my screen about now. Okay, so last week we spoke about MIPCOM and MIP Junior. This week, for those of you in the Discord, and for some of you who follow me on Facebook, you would have seen that I am currently working on a animated short, and I'm in the character design phase, so that's about to be stuff. There's not really any other way to put that. I'm moving on to the secondary main character. I say secondary main character like I don't plan to make more than two. But I chose 3 silhouettes for her, and her name is Enya. For those of you on Facebook, you know that I chose the last names for Parry and Enya this week. So Parry's last name is Parry Rumbling, and Enya's last name is Obscuro. So it's Parry Rumbling and Enya Obscuro. Thanks, Moira. I can't take credit for it though. That's one of the defaults that come with Streamlabs. So I know the starting has been up for a while. So I'm just going to review where we are with the project real quick for anyone who's new and just jumping in. So these are the 3 silhouettes I chose for Enya, and they all have a very different feel to them, but I'm just going to go over Parry's design process real quick and maybe turn down the desktop so that I can hear myself talk. So yeah, and let's go to hair. I have things. Where are they? There we go. So quick rundown of where we've already been. We've been through this process already and I need to turn that off so that it looks white. So I've been through this process already with Parry, and I was a little bit more free with Parry's design. I didn't really know what I was aiming for with her. And so I ended up doing about, call that 15, 16 sketches, silhouette sketches for her. And that all just accumulated, there we go, I have words, in this sheet that we have right here. And that's Parry's design. Parry is a double amputee aspiring kickboxer. She's 12 years old, and she's a little bit more aggressive than your average girl. I also did some more design changes on Parry, and this will be Parry's new silhouette. So you should see drawings coming out with this new hairstyle soon. I will probably redo that expression sheet, and there's that. So turning off that for now, we went through, I went through off stream. I went through Enya's silhouette design, and Enya's a harder character for me to kind of visualize because she and Parry are very different, but they're kind of the same in the sense that I really need to turn down this music. It's deafening me. Yeah, they're kind of the same in the sense that you have Parry being this aggressive but very free girl, and Enya is actually a bit more restrained, but she's aggressive in the sense of her fighting style. So they're the same sort of person. It's just that one tends to keep their urges or desires more under control than the other. And I mean, I've been having conversations with my friends and others, just trying to flesh her out, just trying to get a feel for her. And so I did 8 silhouette sketches, significantly less than Parry, mostly because I had a starting point for Enya, which was the opposite of Parry, but similar in the sense. And I came up with a sort of a character profile for Enya. So Enya is very girly. Um, she's sort of like that leader type personality, which is supposed to contrast the fact that she doesn't really have a lot of control of her home life in terms of how she's expected to act and behave. Um, so we're trying to kind of flesh that out. I chose my top 3 silhouettes. My favorite silhouette in this whole group is actually this one, but I thought about Enya in the sense of a more practical design that I would have to replicate, and that would make sense in the context that I'm going to place her. And I decided that these 3, 1, 2, 3, I don't have numbers on these, so 1, 6, and 7 are the best indications of her personality. So I'm just going to go through them, the kind of personalities I believe each of them portrays. And let's see. So let's start with the middle one. There we go. And so right now, this is the strongest forerunner for Enya's final silhouette. I like her because there's definitely a girly feel to her, but you can sort of feel that sort of assertive energy from her, which is something that I really like about this silhouette. Where my problems lie is that it's kind of boring in terms of a silhouette. It's very, I mean, it's distinctive, but there's nothing sort of special, I guess, about her, which is something that you can fix with design. But I don't think accessories is the way to go. I'm thinking maybe I should just work more on her personality for that. But moving on to the next one. This one is out of my 3. In terms of design, this one is my favorite. I know I said the other one is a forerunner, but this one is my favorite because she has that more refined air around her, but she sort of looks a little bit shy or stuck up, which is not the initial feeling I want you to get from the character. But I do like the fact that she is, she's sort of that kid that, hit their growth spurt early, and so she's taller than most children her age. And then I'm looking at this one. Personally, think this one has the most childish feel to it. She's very short. That sandals, socks, dress, shirt, both which I feel like this would be the kind of clothes that if your parents dressed you as a kid, they would put you in. Like, that very cutesy, what a little girl should wear sort of clothing. And so I'm going to try and create a silhouette that can sort of combine these. I really love, like I said, I love the refined feel of this, the personality in this, but this one seems more like a child. So I'm gonna see now using an evolutionary method to sort of, and I'm going to merge these, sort of get a feel for where I want these characters. And on that note, I'm definitely turning these two silhouettes into something. I just think they're fun. That's my side note. Getting back to business. So again, Enya, just like Parry, is predominantly based on cylinders. Um, in this case, I have semicircles here at the end and that sort of cone shape. So we'll see what's going on. Ooh. All right, so let's go. So I'm just gonna do this. I have this thing where I really love airs that stick out at the side on characters. So we'll do that. I'm gonna try and combine these two first, and then I'll work that one in slowly but surely. So these first few sketches are just gonna be exploratory sketches to see if I can get that sort of feeling. And that's one head, two head, three head, four head, five. I think this will give her a. I'm gonna try with the taller character because Parry is actually quite short. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but Parry's a little short bus. So she's like that height. So I'm thinking if I shrunk her, Parry would kind of be here in terms of height. So I think the contrast between Enya being taller than Parry, visibly taller than Parry, would be a good thing in terms of seeing them on screen and in terms of a layout. So why did I do silhouettes first, or why am I still on silhouettes? The honest to God simple reason is this, that, hold on. I have a habit of making, so I'm gonna go with that pose. I have a habit of making characters that all sort of feel the same, and so I'm trying to get out of that by doing silhouettes, because I tend to be less concerned about the overall, because I'm not concerned about details. I'm not really projecting anything. It's hard to project something onto a black shape until you really start to fill it in. And then you can have all sorts of happy accidents happen. I think that's serendipity or something along that line. And so she's here, her hips and here. And so I'm thinking of giving her that pose. And so that does feel sort of more assertive, sort of more aggressive. I think I mentioned this last stream, I'm not sure. Or maybe I mentioned it on the Discord while chatting to somebody, but my main inspiration for this sort of character design is predominantly the shows Hey Arnold, Codename Kids Next Door, um, Pokemon being the latest season of Pokemon, and I know those are fighting words for some people. So don't fight me, please. Um, Unlike Parry and Enyo, I cannot kick butt like that. Don't fight me. Um, I can probably give you a representative of me that you can fight, but I myself cannot fight. Um, and I actually watched all of the latest season of Pokemon. Um, More fighting words. I actually like it, and I know them fight. I'm sorry. I know that some people will be like questioning my taste right now, but I like it on a story level. I agree with a lot of the critiques about it being childish, but I also realize that I'm not the target demographic for Pokemon, so I take it kind of with a grain of salt. And in terms of characters, Enya is kind of a character that I love. In terms of the stuff that she's going through, I believe is very relatable in terms of whether you're male or female, of having these expectations that are placed on you and having to sort of live within them. And it's kind of a discussion of whether you throw that away or not. And I'm kind of erasing this now. I think this is way too long. I don't like the fact that it's so long. So I want that to come down some more. And I actually owned one of these sort of tutu skirts. Uh, Mostly because I did ballet, and so that was this is where all my inspiration is coming from in terms of that fluffiness. I really love fluffy tutu skirts. Okay, and so this is kind of like our first sort of feeling of the Mara says she doesn't think it has a bad taste. Thank you. So, where do I go between these two hairstyles? I kind of do like this sort of clean cut hairstyle, but I feel like this has a more childish feel to it. So let's go with that. Um, on that note, the last episode of Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out soon, and hui, haha, I want to see how that's going to go because the group that I tend to watch it with, they're all up in arms already, and the episode hasn't even aired yet. And okay, so this has a more refined feel to it, like yeah, I think this could work in terms of hairstyle, like with a plait. And I have a thing for bows, guys, like cute little bows. I just love bows. I'm sorry. And I could like go over here and like copy that, but I think I'm going to leave that for a second. And just get that sort of silhouette going. So that's my first silhouette. It's sort of there. Now I'm gonna try and work her into it. So let's start with adding some of those slouchy socks that she has. And what I'm really trying to do now is sort of balance this black and white within the drawing, but still keep her feeling very childlike, very in possession of a big personality. And the anime also grew on me. It's gonna, yes, that last episode is going to be so emotional, and I can't wait for it. I'm going to be heartbroken. That sounds so so masochistic. Oh my god! But I kind of feel like leading into that last episode of Pokemon, Sun and Moon, before Sword and Shield sort of like gets us all excited again for a new season, that we're kind of in the same position that those Game of Thrones fans were in before their season finale. And I know how that turned out for them. I say them because I am definitely not within that demographic in terms of people who actually watch it or have watched it. Which is ironic because I play Dungeons and Dragons, and I get this weird look whenever I tell people that. But hey, what can you do? So this is my first silhouette, and I like her. She's spunky. Do people even use the word spunky anymore? Am I becoming a grandma like Fawn said? Who knows? Mora has that cat smell. Oh gosh. But yeah. So let's see what else I'm. So I like that. That's like, hey, she got the fluffy dress still, and I'm just gonna bring Parry up, or let's see. Let me draw Parry. Let me not bring her up. Let me draw her. So I'm gonna bring that, turn that opacity down. Whoops, wrong layer. So I'm gonna turn the opacity down on this whole layer group, and I'm going to draw Parry, and mostly because I want the, oh, not that, this one, no, this one, haha, success. Let's move that down there so I stop losing track of it. And there we go. So now I'm going to draw Parry. And I'm going to draw her without her prosthetics because I think she's so cute that way. And this is just to get a feeling of what the two characters sort of look like next to each other. So let's do that. And this already tells me that they have the same body shape, which is not something I was going for. So, I mean, one's tall, but they, leaving heights aside, they have different body shapes. So the very next character I design is definitely going to have a different body shape than the two of them because... Oh, well, first of all, I should probably do my measurements, right? I'm here drawing away. Because I want some visual variety in the characters. I think it's only... Wait, when does it come out? I have it on... Yeah, it comes out tomorrow. The finale of Pokemon Sun and Moon comes out tomorrow. Wow, wizards. There. Okay, so Parry is about 4 heads tall. Her prosthetics add another head to her, so that should let you guys know exactly where she falls on this sort of scale. So this is where her feet are, and she also stands very aggressively. So I also have problems with Parry in terms of replication. But as I draw her, and that's why I didn't copy, because I'm trying to get the practice in drawing her as a character, because I'm going to have to draw her a lot, put her in different situations, and so I don't want that sort of ooh. So I am definitely going to have to change Enya's design because it's I mean, Parry has sharper edges, but it's almost the exact same silhouette. So I don't know. The contrast could be interesting, but that just means I'm going to have to be really, really diverse with the remaining designs of the main group. Um, First of all, we need that skirt. The shape is not right, so let's get that and that. All right. I think I elongated her just a little bit, so I'm gonna turn this back on and yeah. So turn that off. Whenever I do this, I just move her up and then gotta remember she's a little shorty. So, all right. So, what am I gonna talk about while I'm concentrating on this? Is what I'm thinking about right now. Okay, let's talk about the week. Um, so this week was pretty interesting. We had a lot of rain on this end. Um, the Caribbean, honestly, has just been washing away in the last few weeks, or rather, since I've come back. It's been rain on and off again, which makes sense. It is the rainy season. Man, I haven't drawn Parry in a while, and it shows. I'm just going to erase the entire bottom. And just start over. Because I'm not getting the sharp edges that I want for her. There we go. Erased. Oops. Yep. So we do 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'll put 5 there just to remind myself to stop. And let's go all the way down. And let's do that. I'll just replicate this pose. Okay, so we're there. Her shirt has to stop here because all of that is her waist. So we bring that down, bring that down, and I remember that the proportion for this is 2/3, which is 2/3 of this to this black shape right here. And so we're bringing her hand down. So now that we've got that Let's go with that and that. And I remember this is why I gave her such colorful socks in the first place, or noticeable socks, because she walks around on her stumps. So, um, okay, so Moira says, it's been raining here too. Today was no rain, but colder now. Are you dealing with floods at the moment? Um, I personally, where I am, I don't believe we're dealing with floods. The water piles up, but that's what water does. So that's the thing. But I know there have been floods all over the country. There was a search recently for a child that got washed away. I'm not quite sure what became of that search, but there have been dangerous waters around the place. There are areas that even in all of this don't actually have water, and so I'm very grateful for the fact that we have water here, and we're not really dealing with flooding. I'm very fortunate where I am, so that should it could be worse, much worse. Um, I'm also thankful that we are not in the middle of hurricanes, which is a real thing down here. We get them annually, if I'm remembering correctly, because I haven't been in the Caribbean for about 4.5 years now. So, um, that should let you know. Um, I don't want to win the booty snatchers, Tony. I really don't. Um, I really don't. I can do without. Hi, Pac. So I'm sorry that terrified me. The idea of winning them. No, although you have a few members, I would kidnap. Like wait, is Dice still a member of the I don't know. I'll ask him. But can I pick and choose the members I get? This is a totally unrelated question to like pretend I haven't noticed. Yeah. So we're there. Okay, this version is working out a lot better. This is me drawing Parry. And whoops. Yeah, I was supposed to switch to white. And so there we go. And now you know the secret of how I keep her hair consistent. I don't, I just draw. Alright, so let's see. Like I said, I'm pretty safe where I am, which is lucky for me. But others have not been so lucky, and so this lines up with that. And so I'm just generally thankful for not having a lot of that to deal with. What I am dealing with though is this mosquito story. Oh my goodness, mosquitoes are crazy over here. I, ooh, mosquitoes are crazy. They're just everywhere. We do have issues with mosquito carried diseases, and so I know a lot of people are. We have a lot of preventative measures for that in terms of um, making sure to get rid of mosquito breeding sites, covering up water sources with meshes and stuff like that. We're very. I feel like her hair should be. Yeah, like I'm actually gonna do that and then I will. But I feel like her hair should be a little bit, yeah, wider. So I'm just gonna grab. This is why I love digital painting programs. Do that, and I'm gonna click distort because that's what I was looking for. Pull that, squash that down, and then we're gonna go in with some black paint, and we're just gonna round her out. So. And then go back in with the white paint, cut across. Go back in with the black paint. Ooh, there we go. All right, and so we're finally getting to this silhouette of Parry being completed. Reading. Okay, so pick me, pick me. I have bow hunting skills. Ooh, that's a really good skill to have, Pack. Very much on that list. I'm telling you, if there's a ghost in my house, now my neck is bleeding. Wow. It's okay. I'll take my chances against the mosquitoes. Weather here has been wild. 2 to 3 days of melting heat, followed by 2 to 3 days of essential flooding. Hey, fun. Um, Actually, I think our weather is probably the fall off from what's going on down where you are. I can say down now because geographically, that's where you're located. So, yeah, you were telling us about the storm, or I think you were telling me in Discord about the storms that are going on where you are. Like, wow, are you okay? Because I know the electricity and stuff's been going off. Eh, So I'm gonna turn the hair so it's off for a bit and turn that on. And that reminds me that this is more of a circular neckline to begin with. It's a t-shirt. So and I'm going to just erase that. Give it a smoother slope. And that kind of softens her up, gives her less sharp edges. I mean, them edges are still sharp. She's dangerous. No, she's not. All right, and I'm gonna read the comments in a bit. I just want to get this down, and let's see. Oh wow, I have never seen lightning without. I've never seen lightning without thunder. So that's interesting for me. I thought they kind of just came together like a pair. Um, Tony's about to be a nerd. Aww, tiny tot. How is your tiny tot, Tony? Be aware that I will call every child a tiny tot until like given proof that they are not a tiny tot. So, and even afterwards, sometimes, depending on how much I feel like annoying a small child. Because I know some kids have like issues with being called tiny, but that makes it even more fun to call them tiny because it's just like, but you're tiny and cute. So maybe I should create a character that's cute but not tiny. What do you guys think? Uh, okay. Okay, Moira, travel safe. I know. Fight them. No, don't fight them. Yeah, Fawn, Moira has to go back to that cafe. Don't fight them, Moira. Don't listen to Fawn. Fawn's a bad influence. Fawn's being a bad influence right now. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. I'm so done with you guys. So I'm gonna just bring up another layer, and what I tend to do with that layer is because Pari has fishnet on her, I fill in the whites for Pari on a different layer. Just so I'm not stuck trying to get that to work. But since I've gone through all this trouble, let me there we go. I'm gonna draw Pari's socks because I rarely draw them and I really like them. So she's got, I don't know if these exist. My theory is that they must exist because, you know, people walk around on their stumps or their residual limbs. So I think that there must be cute socks out in the world for them that they can put on their residual limbs. Okay. And so this is Paris silhouette. For now, I'm going to merge these two layers, erase that white line, and now I'm going to size Pari next to Enya so that we can get a good read of there we go. And given, I think what I'm going to do is do this, Control T. I'm gonna actually flip her. And everything just went wrong with the world. I don't know if you guys can see it too. I hate flipping drawings for this specific reason. It's like everything's fine and then it's not. Yeah, there's lots of issues with this. I'm just gonna leave that there. And then what I'm doing is I'm moving them so that they look more like they're interacting with each other. There's no actual reason for this. It just helps me because that's the thing that I really, really want to figure out how these two characters would react to each other. Okay, so well, that height difference is really a lot. Let's take that on a new layer and bring that in at red. That height difference is amazing. So we're looking at like a head and a half height difference. And even if I add a whole nother head to Parry, that puts her about here. She's still shorter than Enya. So I'm feeling I'm not sure she might want to claim that cafe. I wait. Don't you have to be like a certain there for a certain amount of years before you can claim squatters' rights? Mara, when you come back, actually, when you come back, I'm going to ask you how long have you been going to that cafe? Because Pat's right, you could probably claim squatters' rights. Okay, so we've got this. Like I said, it's a head and a half difference. So I'm gonna draw that head and half a head. So head and a half of difference between these two characters. Assuming their heads are the same size, they basically have the same silhouette. What I've noticed is, yeah, they do have the same silhouette. Parry has some thick thighs because he. However, Enya is very much skinnier. She's a little bit more waifish, which is kind of ironic. I don't know. It depends on how good the cafe food is. Like, would you really want to claim um, a cafe that has bad food? Like, think about it. Tony's out to cause trouble. 5'11" versus 5'6". I don't know, because if I were, let's use blue for this. If I said Parry's prosthetics give her about a head of height more, so that puts her about here, which is still about half a head of difference. That's more like 5'7" versus 6. I mean, they're 12, 13-year olds. The youngest would probably be 11. I'm thinking most definitely. I don't know. I have another character that I want to create, and I'm still kind of obsessed with her from Paris Silhouette, so I'm gonna bring up that silhouette sheet, and it's this set. Yeah, there we go. Let's turn that off, bring that up. And I know let's go to 100. I want to create this character and this character. And I feel maybe with legs, but I feel like I really want this character as Enya's older sibling, or maybe a cousin or close friend. I'm really partial to this character. I like this silhouette as well, but I believe these two are nice. I'm thinking about the other characters that would be on this kickboxing team. I was also trying to really figure out a. So I'm gonna type their names so you guys can see it. Whoops. Let's delete that. Yep. And delete that too. So I'm trying to figure out what's going to be the context. Where do we first see these characters? A friend and I were discussing maybe school, maybe in a neighborhood, but since it is based in Jamaica, I can't tell you that right now, Tony. Send me a message in the Discord and I will plan more computer juice for you. Um, but in terms of, like I said, hold on. Pax doing some editing in the Discord. Oh my god. Wait. Tony wants computer juice. Yeah, I should go back to Lockdown. It's been a while. But let's see. I wanted to type the names so you can see them. So it's Parry, Rumbling. Tell me if it's hard to read. And Enya Obscura. So those are the names. And those are the two characters so far. I'm still going to explore Enya silhouette a little bit more. But I really do like this one, so let's get back to that. So I definitely like that stature, this tallness. There's definitely a whole different feeling to the two characters. Um, let's try. So I'm keeping her tall. That's what I have decided today. I'm keeping her taller than Parry. Pac and Fawn are having the time of their lives in the Discord, making fun of her height. And it also occurred to me that this is about the height difference between me and Nino, so might be projecting there. Might I suggest T? I'm always going to suggest T. Okay. So this is where we are. And I do a lot of this. I'm going to merge these layers. More layers. I can only have this many layers because this is actually a rather small file. It prevents me from getting way too much into details too early. And so we're there. So we've got our references. All right, let's get back here. I think I've said that enough times already. So let's move that down so I know they're not a part of this. And let's lock that layer and come right here. So now that I have this height chart, let's see if I can't make her a little bit more interesting to look at. So maybe if I give her a more pointy chin, maybe she has a sharper face. And I'm keeping her tall, so let's elongate that too. Um, let's distort that and elongate it just a bit more. She's wayfish, so let's make her wayfish. And I'm just gonna do that because she kind of looked like she was sporting a beard just now, which is not what I am about. We can have bearded ladies another time. Um, I miss. Okay, so reasons I bring Nino up. I'm no longer living with her, guys. Guys, I miss her a lot. I miss my roommate. I miss her so much. Why? Spoken to her recently. I've spoken to her, and it was her dog's birthday on Halloween. We have the cutest picture of her, but I can't share it with you guys because it's not mine to share. Sadness. Um, why do I roast Nino? That's a good question. Two reasons. Because she gives just as good as she gets when it comes to roasting, and second, I can. I This is probably the only time I can make fun of her, and she's not like within distance to hit me or like tell me to stop. So let me take advantage of my let me take advantage of my. Okay, this makes her a lot more wayfish. Um, I'm gonna look up some clothing references because I feel like I'm not good at designing clothes, and maybe if I look at dresses, it will inspire me to. Something that a little child would wear every day to play around in, not something that makes her look like she's about to go to the ball. But I did already get some other ideas from this. I typed in puffy dresses for little girls, and that did not go well. Ah, no, Fawn, you just make fun of my age. Um, I don't know. Don't get me wrong though. I really, really love Nino. She's like one of my closest friends. I have three very, very close friends. Nino is in that three. You guys have actually spoken to all three of them unknowingly, but I'm not allowed to tell you who they are. You could probably guess one of the other ones, but I think Salty was only here for like 2 weeks. He stayed in the Discord for about 2 weeks, but Salty's an edgy boy. And he wanted to be more edgy than was allowed. Fun goes wild accusations. If you say so, Fun. If you say so. And so, whoa. Okay, so that's anyhow. Let's hit that and let's move that below actually. So this has a more there's less fluff on this skirt. This has a more contained feel. She feels a lot taller. Mostly because I stretched her out a lot on this one. And so I'm still keeping that same pose, that same sort of hands on, whoops, that last two strokes, not so good. And I'm using a very thick brush. So I don't really have a lot of control over these strokes, which is both a blessing and a curse in this instance because I can't really do the silhouette as finessed as I would like to, but that's kind of why I've given myself a limit on how many or how small a brush I can use when creating silhouettes. I'm trying to give up control just for a moment to see if any happy accidents will happen. Fun, this month is only 3 days old. Give it time. If you can say the same thing at the end of this month, I'll be more impressed. But I'll definitely tell Nino you guys miss her. Um, Actually, let me send that to her now so I don't forget. Um, Let me scroll all the way down. I have so many people on Discord now. When I joined, I didn't even have one server, and now hold on. Okay. Okay, there we go. So I just sent Nino your message. Of course, I'm expecting a lot from you, Fawn. I expect a lot from all of you guys. Whether or not my expectations are met is a whole different story, but that doesn't stop me from expecting. So I'm just gonna come here, go there, and like I said, I'm trying to do just above the knee to there. This looks like a very. I think this character would be very fun to animate in terms of her skirt. It would contrast the rest of it. What I want to do now is so that's sort of like a flower thingy right there. So instead of giving her a sort of V-neck and that kind of scalloped shoulders, I gave her a fake turtleneck, a little flower thing around there. I tamed all of that fluff. I don't want it to look like too much to Paris silhouette, and I emphasized her tallness, which is where I'm going with this. I give hugs. High fives are kind of hard for me. No one ever returns my high fives. I think it's the emoji I use when I ask for them. I think people think I'm saying hi when I do it. That sort of like weird thing. But let's see what we're working with here. Um, I think it's time for me to sort of merge these because I keep forgetting the layers there. So now let's go for her hair. Should I draw back the same hair or you know what? Let's try because it's on a whole different layer. So I'm gonna try her old hairstyle. That's sort of so it's not it definitely gives her a different feel. Now she feels like somebody's older sister. Oh gosh. Um so I'm breaking my brush rule just a little bit right now so I can get the hair. I've gone down to 25, but it's just so I can get the hair. And so this pointy chin does definitely has a completely different feeling. I am going to just move that over here. It's gonna be like a wig. And then we're gonna go back in with that brush and I'm gonna try the hair that she has over here. And this is basically, I'm doing a type of design process, which is sort of like evolutionary drawing. I've already done random silhouettes. Now that I have an idea more of what I'm looking for, I'm doing a sort of evolutionary approach, which is to say that you're changing like about eh, just piece by piece changing the drawing. But overall, the drawing is the same. There isn't really a difference in the silhouette, except for maybe like the hair, the clothes. The drawing's mostly the same, and so that's what I mean by evolutionary. It's the same thing, but just changed. Whereas this original set of silhouettes, you had different body shapes, different body sizes, and the only reason I really did that is I didn't. The parameters are too wide, and so I don't really have um, a concrete feel of what the character is about. And so I used that to kind of like, whoops. So, oh right, I forgot her bow. Guys, why didn't you tell me I forgot her bow? Um, and there we go. Um, I'm bringing it down to encompass her face. Uh, oh wow, I'm gonna do this. You guys might be wondering why the hell did she just do that? There's a method to my madness. I saw this. Whoops. Saw this while I was drawing her hair, and I thought, wow, that could be a neat hairstyle. So let's erase that. This is how I just quickly prototype hairstyles for her. And now if I want to try different hairstyles, I just move it around like a little paper doll. So right now I like this hairstyle. This one is nice as well. And this one, whoops. I think this one looks better on that version of her, so that's an automatic no. This one looks, these two, let's see. I'm between these two, so hold on. I'm not really sure where I want to go with this. I'm basing this based off character. So, in terms of a girly girl who, because let's describe Annie again, because now I'm kind of like stuck between my own personal preferences and what's best for the character. When that happens, I tend to describe the character and depending on which one fits. So Anya is very girly, not by choice, but simply because of the environment that she's in. And so she tends to be more aggressive overall when she's kickboxing, because that's sort of her only outlet for her aggression. So, in terms of hairstyles that represent this, I think this one is very restrained, and this one is sort of more wild. I'm actually going to put a mask on this. I put a mask there, so now that will stop annoying me. So, she's I like this one. It's fluffier. It reminds me of that sort of refined hairstyle. I think if I go in here and I erase this, we can probably, whoops. If I come in here, and what I'm doing now is I'm framing her face to get a better, more refined version of this hairstyle. And this, what I'm doing right here, is exactly the reason why I try to keep my brush above 30. Because once I get down into 20s, 20 something, then that's when I start detailing like crazy. Tony, you're leaving us? Bye. Thank you, Pac. Bye, Tony. I'll give you a hug to send you off. Okay. And Tony's gone. Wow, that's so sad. Who's gonna try and take over my stream while I'm away? Wait. Okay, so I like this hairstyle, and I'm writing down pros and cons right now. Wait. We have, I feel like this is a hairstyle that you would see more on a child. It's very puffy, but it's sort of like that kid trying to be an adult sort of hairstyle. I think if I made it a little bit messier, I would like it a lot. But it does communicate the kind of environment she's living in, which is a very controlled environment, not really suited to kids. This one, I think, shows a lot more restraint. I like this one because, I mean, it's there. Let's see. Why do I like this one? I like it because it emphasizes her height, honestly. It does still give that restrained feeling, but I sort of feel like it's that 60s mom hairstyle. Fun says, thanks, Fun. I appreciate that. I really do. Um, okay. um, I'm kind of regretting it now because I think you might actually have a better chance of taking the stream over. And I just realized the can of worms I just opened. So now I'm feeling nervous. As I like owning my stream. But let's see. We're on this. I think what I'm going to do is let's just do this. I'll keep both of them and make that decision later because I'm stalling on the silhouette process and it's kind of not what that's for. So I thought so. I'm gonna erase all of this now. The rest of that. Turn them back on. And there, that is definitely a difference of silhouettes already. So I'm gonna keep that here. This is still Enya Obscura. And then using that, so now I'm gonna erase this. Grab this, Control T, move that back over. And I think when I have these two options for a while, I'll stop being starstruck by them and whoops. Yep. I'll stop being starstruck by them and I'll be able to make a much clearer choice. D. T. Alt. And these are all 5 heads high. And the reason I'm using 5 heads is because that's the proportion for a toddler. Not toddler, for I think bigger children. Whoops. Yeah, I'm just moving air. Nothing to worry about there. So I ended up making that one quite a bit taller. But these are the 2 new silhouettes. She looks more childlike. She's still in the running. Still in the running, indeedy. And I'm just gonna go back to where we came from. So the references are here. Move them. Lock. Move that down. And just to let you guys see the 3 inspirations and refresh my memory. So we're working on Enya Obscura, which is the secondary main character in the animated short I'm developing. Right now it has a name. It has a name, Baby Steps, but that might change depending on the direction that the story goes in. And having these 2 sort of like next to each other, I'm trying to figure out which is the best silhouette for Enya to have. And this is going to change over time. I like this one because there's still that feel of being a child. This one sort of feels a little bit more teenagery, but ow. I still feel like her silhouette is too close to Paris' silhouette. Um, Maybe adding that would help. So let's go into here. And that's just a little bit. Okay, that's at 50. So I still keep that fuzziness to it, but that softens her out. I'm thinking maybe that silhouette for the dress is very nice. Huh. Well, I'm liking this body type and height. So turn the references off and let's go again. So let's see. Okay, I think this is the only thing on this layer. That's great. Which means I can actually just go and do that. And me moving stuff around. That's not gonna work. They remind me of another character, and I can't remember who. I'm not going to encourage you. I really don't want to find out if you can take over the stream. So, because I think that I might be in trouble if you can. Okay, so I tried her with pointiness. Going for more reference images. Okay. All right, this is. We're still on that same design. All right, so this time I'm gonna try and make her the main inspiration, more for that childishness. So that does put her silhouette a little bit closer to Paris, but I think I can live with it. And that puts that there. Yep, that's the regular schmegular brush. So Anya has really long legs, whereas Parry's legs are extremely short. So that's another contrast I'm realizing now as I'm working on proportions in my head, um, or memorizing proportions in my head. Da 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 da. And so we've done that. All right, let's go back to. So I did say I'm using her as the main sort of reference. So okay, that does look more childish. And so I gave her a belt there. And let's make that hang off her a little bit like that. That works. And I'll add that sort of fake turtleneck thing here. Okay, so this looks girly, like she runs around too. This one sort of looks like she has no business running around. But she feels sort of more studious here. So I want to add just a little bit more fluff to it, um, by giving her scalloped edges on her skirt. And then adding just little accents there. That makes her quite a bit more. I feel like that's a lot. Let me take the lines out. Okay. And alright, so let's work with her hair now. So I like those, I like these. I like this outfit better. So maybe something that is let's see. What would be a good hairstyle for a little girl, guys? I think like 12 years old, natural hair. I don't want to give her dreadlocks because Parry has dreadlocks. Maybe twists? I feel like based on the perspective I'm going for here, that doesn't actually exist. At least not from this perspective. And so and this has quite a different feel from all the others. I like that. So let's. I actually like this one quite a lot. She feels like a whole character. And if I. Let's go back. Yup, she's the same height. If I put her next to Parry, there's still a very different feel between the two. This is closer to how I'm imagining Enya. Um, Still a very girly outfit, but you can I think you can sort of imagine a character with this silhouette being a kickboxer and maybe even understanding that there's a little bit more to her under the surface. So that's where we are. Twin tails. Okay. I can try that. I don't know. We can't really do twin tails with back hair, but I will try to get the twin tails is something that honestly is done best with Asian hair. But I will try it. I think we have an equivalent of that. Let me see if I can get. Yeah. There we go. So let's try a twin-tailed approach. Do 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 do. Let's bring everybody down. I have to bring the opacity down so that I'm not mixing stuff up. But let's go. Let's try Enya with twin tails. So she has, here she had relaxed hair. This was more natural hair. This is more natural hair. But let's see. I like the sharper version of her, but I feel like sharpening ages her, makes her look a little bit more old, a little bit more like aggressive, and I want her to be a character that when you see her, you like her just as much as you like Parry, because she's not an enemy or bully or anything in that sense. Just girls living their life or living her life. So this is the 5 heads. 1, 2, 3. Yep. Gotta make sure it's 5. Oops. And those long legs, the neck, twin tails. So get my references, and we're definitely using her. same sort of dress. Trying to refine that silhouette just a little bit more. Now this one looks more like a flowy dress. I'm trying not to take the personality out of the outfit, so let's go with them scalloped edges. Oh, oopsie, made that too long. And distorts. Alright, so there's still a full... There. Right. I could have added another head, but she'd have been 6 heads high instead of 5, and that would cause a difference. Each head kind of ages you, so yeah. So let's add the details to her outfit. And I'm quickly brushing through it right now. But I'm at 45, 30s as low as I go. And let's do now, I know I haven't drawn her the rest yet. I probably should before I get into all of that. There. And then dropping there. Let's fix her belt. And so there's lots of different types of twin-tailed hair from the references I just saw. And what I do with references is I look at them, kind of just like get the overall feel for them, and then I turn them off. Because I have a habit of copying any picture that's directly in front of me, so I can't afford to do that when designing my own characters. That's how you get into copyright problems. So there was a softer version of Twin Tails, which is when you hit Control Z. Yep. I forgot to put this on a completely different layer. So there's this kind of Twin Tails where it's very soft and the hair kind of fans out at the bottom. Which is a very cute hairstyle for a little girl to have. But it's really only something you can do if you have straight hair. If Anya sort of has natural hair in the sense of, well, I say straight hair, but I really mean if you have more Asian type hair. So there's the Twin Tails that come down like that. So I'm gonna grab that and move that over here. The next version I saw was the sort that it was, you had bands And so I'm gonna give her some really cute bangs. And your hair sort of came up into sort of like that. And I'm actually gonna put bows on this because why not? Okay. So we sort of had that version of Twin Tails. There was another version. And actually, let me change that back to black. Go in there. I forgot to draw her ears, so that's the thing that happened. And I gave her little sideburns, because sideburns are cute. And that's a cute hairstyle as well. What was the other one that I saw? Let's see. No, there is. I'm looking at the references again. And there's actually another version. Give me a sec. So it was with natural hair, it was puffs right here. And then there was a sort of braid. So there's braid. And then I'm gonna draw the clip in because so those were the three. The other types I saw were like, let me see. There's one I saw that was very straight. I pin straight. And it was sort of like that. And the reason I'm not really partial to this hairstyle is because it's impossible to achieve with Enya's hair texture. But I did see that one as well. Of these three, I feel like this one is really the one that reflects Enya. So I'm gonna go and eradicate those. Adjust that. And just merge. And then I'm gonna grab this and move that up. Alright, erase the center. And I'm just erasing the proportion marks that I have on the drawing. Most of the times I cover them up, but in this very particular instance I did not, so I'm doing just that. And then Control T, we'll keep her there, just checking that height again. She is there, enter. And then, yeah. Oh, guys, if you hear me say like the names of buttons, it's because anything that comes to mind is really what's coming out of my mouth right now. And so if I'm thinking about keyboard shortcuts, that's what you're gonna hear. The use of the word eradicate makes it sound a lot more aggressive. I've been told that before. Um, but that's essentially what it is. It's battle to be the final design. It's a cutthroat world for drawings and silhouettes. So moving that, move that up. Right now, each silhouette I make slowly but surely becomes my favorite. These two have currently trumped these two. She's still sweet, but again, I said she kind of looks a little bit generic now. Now that the sparkly new drawing feeling has worked itself out. So I'm liking these two now. I like this sort of the twin tail idea is very cute. I like the sideburns, the bangs, and the poofiness of it overall complements her very like girly figure. I like this silhouette more. So I'm thinking if I took the hair off this one and gave it to this one, it'd be good. But whoops. Having Parry on the page kind of just keeps in mind where she is. I think that's I mean, I did 5, maybe one more, 6, just to keep it even. The page sort of feels like it should have more, but I can fix that real quick. Just wait. I'm going to show you how that works. So you grab that. If I were not on an empty layer, that would be great. So you grab that. And then you grab the entire top row, right? Move them up. And would you look at that space? Where did that come from? And the reason I'm leaving here empty is because I just remember the references. I'm going to shrink them and put them there. This side of the page will be specifically for... Oh, wow. What is that sound? Oh, the kettle, right. I believe in you, Mom. You can catch that kettle. Okay. And I move them over. And now, it looks like I only need one more for the page to be finished, doesn't it? So, I do that. And it's really nice to see the evolution of the character as it pertains to this. So, I take these references, I shimmy them over here. And we're good. So one more. Okay. Okay, bye, Pack. Bye-bye. Please, sleep. I haven't been able to sleep well for a while, so... Yes, go pass out. Never mind, it's just water being... I'm sorry, I wasn't expecting that. Unfortunately, my microphone picks everything up. So, sorry. I mean, I know it's just water being boiled, but I smell food being cooked and I'm hungry. I don't know whose pot I'm smelling, but it's making me hungry. So, Taking in, since I said this is evolutionary design again, now I'm just refining her silhouette. So I really, really like these two hairstyles. And I'm wondering if I I'm actually gonna add a sideburn to this. Nope. It only works if it's the twin tail hairstyle. Wow. I'm just gonna add some flyaway stray hairs. This has no other purpose, and this is the reason why I keep my brush above 30, because I do stuff like that. Okay, so we're here. Um, this is probably going to be my last refinement until I start adding details and really start to flesh out these characters. So I definitely want to keep this silhouette, the more scrawny legs, the semicircular skirt as opposed to the sort of lopsided skirt. I want to try with this twin-tailed hairstyle again, which gives her so let's try. I'm going to actually try and sketch it at this level in this space. Oh, okay. 5. So that's that. Okay, keep that brush above. Okay, I'm moving down to 20 only because I'm sketching at a smaller level. And right here is where that semicircular skirt begins at 2.5 heads. And she might have to wear pumpkin pants. Over here we call them bloomers, but I'm not sure. I think a lot of other people imagine a very different type of thing when you say bloomers. So for that, then so I added some of the softness from this drawing into this one. Maybe not too much of it. And then we're switching. I'm adding the sort of fake turtleneck. Checking the comments again. Fried sweet potatoes in eating. I actually had sweet potatoes today. I don't know about fried ones though. I haven't had any fries today, which is sad. Because there's a quote unquote fast food. I don't know if I can call it fast food if it comes with like rice and chicken and vegetables, but the quote unquote fast food over here has some seasoned fries that I adore. So we're bringing that across, switching that black, and then that belt buckle. Keep that there. Switch again to white. And then we'll bring that down. And then there's the socks. There we go. I'm just gonna do that. So this scrawnier, yeah, scrawny. He's scrawny, scrawny, scrawny. And let's thicken up that line. And let's go for that twin-tailed. I feel like this still too much curve. I really want that to be a semicircle. So let's curve that up a little bit more. I have to be very careful of that negative space. And I'm gonna erase this. Okay, there we go. That feels more like that. It's still a bit wider than... So if I do it like that, and I'm gonna take that in. So it's like a triangle perched on top of a semicircle. These are a lot more even. Switch. Switch. Alright, and like this, I don't have to worry about any of her facial features. So now I'm gonna add, like I said, that fluffy bang, which is something I know you can do with natural hair. I've seen other girls do it. Switch, I'm gonna add her ear. Add that sideburn. And just spring. So that, and then a bigger one, and then a tinier one. So right now I'm making her silhouette a little bit more systematic, a little bit easier to draw, so that I have an idea of what she looks like from various angles. So spring. And it also makes it easier for me to draw her from this angle as well, because now I know what's going on. So there, that bigger one, that smaller one. And that sort of breaks up her silhouette. But that silhouette, that is the one on her cheek. But I'm gonna use the bow to sort of flesh that out just a little bit more. And then, there we go. Bring that back up to 25. Still trying to keep my rule so that I don't get lost in details. But that's what we're looking at now. And drawing her at this size saved me the trouble of having to resize. Now I only need to shift her down just a bit so that she lines up with the others. And I just realized I drew her on the wrong layer, so that's a whole thing, but that doesn't really matter because I'm gonna merge these. And so that's Enya. And this is our basically our final design of Enya before we have any other going on. Still might change her hair, but for now this is the hair she has. Um Ah, you ate all of the fries, Fawn? I'm heartbroken. Okay, so I'm gonna hit save so that I don't end up crying later. And give me a second as I save these files. So Enya Obscura. Ob. Yep. I spelled her name wrong down here. I can't believe it. I'm gonna go into hair. And that's where we are now. So we've brought Enya to Paris' level of quote unquote finish. I mean, it's something I wouldn't have thought of myself, which is good because it means that it has a more dynamic feel, and I think it's a little bit more realistic. Because no matter what you do, anything that you make sort of reflects you in a way. And hold on, let me get that. Control E. There we go. So now we have Enya and we have Parry. And I'm just gonna add numbers to these real quick. So that's 1, 2, 3, 6. All right, so we added numbers to that just real quick and merge them together, and we're here. But those are the best kinds of fries, Fun. Like the ones that are piping hot that you just burn yourself eating. Those are the best kinds. So this is our say finished design of or finished silhouette design, let me correct myself, of Enya. So Enya and Parry are sort of at the same level right now. The next thing I want to do is work on the, because it's a group of 5 children that are the intended focus of this. And so let's see. I don't tell that to my burning throat. I recommend yogurt or milk. I have nothing else to say to that. Oh wait, no, burning, not spicy. Um, my condolences. I don't know what to tell you, Fawn. So I've got 14 minutes left in this, and we went from these silhouettes to these silhouettes. And I believe I'm going to redraw Parry just to make her a little bit more childish. So I'm gonna spend this time. I have 40 minutes left. Yeah, condolences is the universal medicine. So yeah. So I'm gonna take Enya, unsure OJ, and I'm gonna take Parry, this version of her. Woo, go away. I still think this version of Parry is the one that captures it the best, so I'm gonna go here, and that, grab those two. And now I'm going to essentially play with these character interactions, see what they look like. Um, let's merge them together. Right now they're the same height. So let's adjust that, shall we? And okay, so whoops, I need to merge those. So we've got Enya and Parry. Now let's work them out. Ooh, thank you, Fan. I really appreciate it. I didn't realize how short I was making Parry until I said she was shorter than Enya. But she really is tiny. Like, wow. Because that's Enya's full height right there. That makes Parry a little short. She's minuscule compared to Enya. Oh wow. Kind of want to draw a chart of this now. Okay. So that's that. Whoops. And now let's move all of this down. Wow, so tiny. Okay. So I do height charts for two reasons. One, if you haven't heard, I it gives you a really good understanding of exactly what the height of your character is in comparison to the other characters. Because now I'm thinking Enya might have to be 5 so that Parry doesn't look like she's a dwarf. I'm gonna grab all of these, grab those. There we go. Control E. And Control E. This is the height chart. So, wow. Maybe they're titans the size of mountains. That mountain would have to be about 1 feet or 3 feet tall, 3.5 feet tall for a parry to be the size of it. So there we go. To really get a sense of scale, wow. There's another thing I have to sort of, because they're not actually standing directly on the line. So now I'm going to do that, and there we go. And usually I wouldn't do this, but since there's only 2 of them, I'm gonna put that shadow down, give them well, I used the wrong color first of all, so let's correct that. And there. And then let's make this a bit darker. And let's put the height chart there. And I'm just putting them in an environment so that I get a feeling for them. The height chart, I want to lower the opacity just a little bit. In fact, no, I think I want to change the height chart to a different color completely. Reason being, it's messing with the view of the silhouettes. So now that I put some value on them, and they have some color behind them, you can sort of see them more clearly. And then here, Yep, those are feet, not kilometers. Neither of my character are Bigfoot. Wait, did I read that properly? Nope, those aren't big feet. Nope. Okay, so we basically 3 hours of that to go through and get one silhouette. But things take different times. It's really important for me to spend time on these silhouettes to get the characters right because I'm not going to be able to go back after starting to animate and change the silhouette. And that will be a problem if there's a issue with the silhouette afterwards. With these silhouettes, things that I take into consideration, what will they look like from the side? Are they identifiable from the back? If only half of them is showing, would you still be able to tell it's the character? Other things, do they look different from the other characters around them? Are they, these are some of the things that you take into consideration when sort of dealing with silhouette design. And let's see, anything else I want to take into consideration here? Let's add light. Or maybe a color. And if I'm going to be 100% honest with you guys, the reason why I'm adding color right now is because I was watching where is it? I'll be able to tell you in like 2 seconds. I was watching a video by FDZ School, and the founder of this school is one of the best concept artists in the world. And he was talking about presentation of your designs in terms of concept and overlay and stuff like that. And let me see. It's kind of hard for me to do this. There we go. Yeah. So let's go there. So I'm going to take my opacity all the way down. My hardness is there, and I'm actually going to go down to that brush. And this, honestly, the reason it's not working is because I used black and white. This would probably look better if I had more values than just the two extremes. But it does add some dynamism to the characters, just to have like that pop of color. So the next time I make these silhouettes is when I will really be working out what the interior of the silhouette looks like. And that's gonna be more interesting. Right now I want to add 3 more characters to this, so I want to grab these 2 and just be like, whoops. I want to grab these 2 and whoops. There we go. And add 3 more characters right here. Judging on the composition of Enya and Parry, I'm thinking maybe another tall child, maybe a more robust child. just to balance it out, have different body types. There's different types of children. Um, so let me turn all of this off. I definitely think I want to make use of this silhouette and probably go through the design process with her as well, because I really want to see what that would look like if I refined it. I also want to go back to Paris silhouettes and explore some of them for the new characters. But first, I have to work out what the profile of these new characters are, what they're about, what their purposes are within the story, and all of that. But for now, this is where I am. This is Enya and Parry, and let me type that. That's Enya Obscura and Parry Rumbling. So if you follow me on Discord, or I can't say Instagram right now. The Instagram is kind of, I've misspelled her name again. The Instagram is kind of on a break right now. I'm trying to figure out where to go with it. And so this is where we're at with that. So coming in here, I'm just gonna play around for the rest of this time. And if I do it like this, it looks like there's light here, even though they're just silhouettes. And so let's go over here. Which I like. So I'm gonna save that. And this is my in progress shot. I still have about half an hour left, but I have no clue what to do. So I'm actually gonna go over to Krita and work on the animatic that I was doing. I shared it on, I believe I only shared that one in the Discord, but I could be wrong. I could have also shared it on Facebook. And so, yep, I did share it on Facebook. I just checked. So I'm gonna switch over to Krita, which is really simple for me right now. And this, you can tell how far Parry has come. So now that I have a good understanding of Parry's size, I drew her as a teenager right here, apparently. So I need to shrink her. She needs to be about that much size. So that's what your height charts are for. Once you have a really good understanding of the size of your character, now when you're drawing them, you have a good understanding of what their size is in relation to objects and so on. So this kind of just barreled it in my head. She's short. So this is wrong, but I'm going to play this for those of you who are not in the Discord and who are not in Instagram. Sorry, in the Facebook. Instagram has no clue what's going on right now. I'm sorry, Instagram people. It's actually more of you than anybody else. But we're here. So the idea of this was a race between Enya and Parry. And I really only got the parts of Parry racing past finished. So I have the paper fluttering in the breeze. And once I develop the third character, I will be able to replace the placeholder silhouettes. But how I got the, I'm showing you the frames of each of these because it's basically an animatic right now. So this is the paper. This is where it hits. These are the keyframes right now. or the placeholder keyframes in the animatic. So this is closer to a storyboard than an actual animation. So come in, and this right here is little dots. These are where your rocks are going to appear from. This is I did an in-between for this paper. This is where the breeze catches it. The paper is being ripped. That movement needed to happen before the rocks hit. And then the paper leaving the frame and then disappear. So that's where we are. We're here right now. So first things first, now that I have Enya's silhouette and her height, and I have Parry's silhouette and her height, I can go into Krita now and do several things. First things first, I go in here and file, save as. So I'm saving this as a new document. And I'm going to come in here with an eraser. I'm just going to demolish this. And I say demolish because this is hurting me right now. This hurts me so much right now because I like this drawing. But sometimes you have to kill your darlings. And there we go. And I'm gonna draw back the couch. Oh, just letting you guys know, remember how every time I switched to the eraser and switched back to the pencil, I couldn't draw and I had to be in here changing the color. So it turns out that my Photoshop habits were working against me. I was hitting E to go to eraser. I realized that it wasn't working, and so I clicked the eraser drawing. But because I was still in the pencil mode, this eraser, that's what that button does, it turns the pencil into an eraser, was working against me. And so, that happened. That was a thing. So if you find yourself having problems in Krita and you find that sometimes your pencil isn't working, check to make sure that button isn't checked. This one right here, this little eraser button. And if I hover over it, is it going to tell me what it's called? Yes, set eraser mode. Check to make sure eraser mode is not on. And then you should probably be good. But I'm going to go to a harder pencil. Nope. Go back to my soft pencil. And I'm going to move my opacity down. To about 50. I'm just going to sketch and work on this for the duration of the stream. I really had this goal. I'm not sure what's going on with my inputs, so give me a second. It's not as smooth as it once were. So, okay. So Greta is having a moment. I'm not sure why. I'm having some lag. So I'm going to close Photoshop. And hopefully okay, so I mean it's the animatic. I'll work it out later. So this couch has like a weird shape, but that's okay. Yeah, see, it's very sharp. It's getting very sharp on those turns. And I don't know why. But I'm not about to turn Krita off to find out why. I'm just going to put the couch there. And right here. Now I'm gonna draw parry on, because Krita automatically puts holding frames in for you, so that's really good. I'm gonna select the red layer, go in with a different color, and I found the advanced color selector. So now I can change my colors from here, and that's great. And now I'm gonna draw little 3-foot parry. So she takes up all of that space, or none of this space, if we're gonna be honest. Oh, I don't know if you guys saw that. So Krita has a a shortcut that works specifically for tablets, and mine isn't set up properly yet. Once I get that feature down, I'll explain it to you guys. But I'm still learning Krita. I'm just ignoring certain. Yeah, so if I don't make big enough movements, Krita assumes I'm trying to access that panel, and it's become a little bit annoying for me. So we're there, and little 3-foot parry. So coming in here, and the spacebar shortcut is the same here as it is in Photoshop. It's for grabbing your canvas and moving it. So I'm thinking about Enya as she looks next to Parry. They're so different. Oh my gosh. I'm pleased with that. Sometimes I'm not sure what I'm aiming for, but I'm sure I'll figure it out. The perspective's sort of off on this one, but I'm ignoring. And let's try Paris here. So Krita is giving me issues today it doesn't usually give me. So I'm just working with it the best I can. Oh, some questions I got the other day in terms of what kind of software and what kind of, stuff I use. Anything I can get my hands on. I know that's not like the best. Oh no, the background is blue. Let me use green and go down. I know that's not like the best answer that you want to give, but I have a Wacom Bamboo crate. I think I've said this. I need to put this in the description, what stuff I use. I have a Wacom Bamboo crate, and it's no longer in production. Wacom doesn't make this model anymore. I use Photoshop. I recently added Krita. I use the Adobe Creative Suite, Not because of any huge preference for it over any other software. It's just the one that I started using before, and it's also industry standard, so I thought it um, good to know how to use it. Okay, let's see. Anything else? I go between traditional and non-traditional, so that's another thing. I know how to use the Intuos and the Cintiq. I want a Cintiq. I think everyone wants a Cintiq, or most want a Cintiq, but I don't really think it's something that I have to have. Would it make things easier? Yes, but it's basically just going to take me a longer time to get the same results on the bamboo crate. It's kind of like you have to figure out how to make the tools work for you. Um, yeah, that's where I was going with that. Um, how to draw. Hold on. How to draw people. I cannot answer that question. I honestly cannot answer that question. I'm sorry. People are kind of. And I just turned on eraser mode. People are kind of a difficult topic in art. Because they're made up of all the basic forms. So why? Okay. I don't know why my thing suddenly changed to back and won't change back. But cancel. Let's use that color. There we go. I'm not sure what happened there. I'll have to figure it out because that could be useful. But now I have a placeholder for parry that's to scale, or more to scale. Um, and I'm going to insert a keyframe here. So now it looks like this. And for the catches. Alright, so we've got 6 minutes left in the stream time, and since I don't think you guys are going to be able to see it if you're not in the Discord or on the Facebook, and maybe the Instagram, depending. What I have planned is to replace this silhouette with the silhouette of the third character, and to then animate Enya running towards us from here. I'm still trying to think of the flow of this story. It shouldn't be more than a minute. In fact, no, it shouldn't be more than 5 seconds. What am I talking about? A minute. That's a lot of drawing. But thanks for coming, guys. Thanks for stopping by and watching. And thank you for your support. I'm going to leave this on a more interesting frame. And I'm going to restart Krita, and hopefully it will stop this nonsense. There we go. Everything's back to where it's supposed to be. Anyway, bye guys. Thanks for staying with me. Thanks for stopping by. I am about to be on my way, going to get me some tea, and me and my sleepy time music is going probably to sleep. I hope I can make it to sleep tonight. Night night.